Let's bring in ABC election analyst Casey Briggs. Now, Casey, we don't normally cover an individual UK by-election, but this was a big one, wasn't it?
No, we don't, Ros. We're talking about a single seat in the British Parliament called Makerfield. It's in the Wigan area near Greater Manchester and a string of villages and towns. And yeah, we don't normally talk about the by-elections of British politics, but the reason we are in this case is because actually this has really been a shadow leadership contest for the Labour Party and therefore for also who will be the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. A Labour candidate stood aside. Andy Burnham, the former Mayor of Greater Manchester, put his hand up to run, and the reason he wants to run is because we all know, he's not saying it explicitly on the campaign trail, but we know that he wants to challenge Keir Starmer and become Prime Minister. He thinks that the government has lost its way. A quick note on the result, because I think it might play an impact on how quickly things move from here. This was always seen to be a two-horse race between Labour, Andy Burnham, and Reform UK. Not the Conservatives, not the Greens, not the Lib Dems, Reform UK, the far-right party led by Nigel Farage. Reform won every council ward in this area in the recent local elections. And so one of the concerns, this has been a Labour seat for a very, 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 very long time. One of the concerns for Labour has been, are they losing this ground to Reform? Well, what's actually happened here is Andy Burnham and his very strong personal popularity have managed to hold on to this seat, and he's won it on quite a safe margin, really, with more than 50% of the vote. We've seen what seems to be some consolidation of votes on the left and the right. There are almost certainly Greens voters that have just gone and plumped their vote with Labour because they would rather see Andy Burnham win than the Reform candidate. Similarly with Liberal Democrat voters. On the Conservative side, the Conservative Party, one of the most successful political parties in British history, got 2% in this election. There are clearly Tory voters that have gone and backed Reform, but it wasn't enough to see. Within those two sort of voting blocks, there hasn't been a lot of shifts, no left-wing voters moving to the right. So Andy Burnham wins that seat, and from here the question will be, does he mount a challenge? How quickly does he mount a challenge? Or what does Keir Starmer do next?
OK, let's take a step back though. Tell us a bit more about Andy Burnham.
So Andy Burnham, he was a member of British Parliament for quite a few years, left the Parliament in 2017, but while he was there, he has previously run for leadership of the Labour Party. He left Westminster and ran and became the Mayor of Greater Manchester, really saying, he had work to do locally and was trying to sort of try out a new way of politics in some of the ways he's described before. It has become a very popular figure in the north of England. In fact, is often referred to as the King of the North in British politics. He is about the most popular Labour figure in Britain at the moment. He tried to, as there's been a very long, protracted conversation about the fate and the direction of the government and Keir Starmer's position in politics, he's been long mooted as a potential future leader as an outsider. The challenge has been for him, how does he get back into Parliament in order to run? He tried in a recent by-election in Gorton and Denton, also in Manchester. Labour blocked him from running in that race. And indeed, that seat was then lost by Labour to the Greens, and Labour didn't even come second in that race. He was successful this time in getting permission from the party to run. I think the party saw the writing on the wall in terms of his ambition and Keir Starmer's future, and has been able to get over the line in this case. And he's sort of positioning himself as a less managerial type of leader. Keir Starmer is seen as a very sort of managerial, process-driven leader, and that has been seen by some in Labor to be part of the reason that Labor is struggling so much right now in the polls, is losing seats, lost a swag of local government seats in recent local elections, despite the fact that just a couple of years ago, Keir Starmer was elected with a thumping majority in British politics. Right now, that majority is seemingly dissipated if an election were to be held today. Many people in Labor are very worried, and many people have been casting around looking for options. And the thing that's been giving Keir Starmer this sort of stay of execution for some time appears to be lack of a strong contender within the parliamentary ranks, or lack of coalescing, and the Andy Burnham factor. Will he make his way back into Parliament? Well, that question's been resolved today. And this will not be the only British political story we hear in the next few days, I suspect.
Okay, and how much support would he have amongst Labour MPs?
So among Labour MPs, as we understand it, the reporting is that Andy Burnham already has enough MPs supporting him to trigger a leadership contest, if that's the way this goes. You need 81 MPs with the current size of the party room to do that. If a leadership ballot is triggered and Keir Starmer chooses to contest it, That will then be a vote of Labor members, not the MPs, but the members of the Labor Party, the rank and file. And the polling that we've seen suggests that Andy Burnham would be the front runner among those Labor members to win a ballot. So question number one is going to be, what will Keir Starmer do? Now, looking at Andy Burnham's support, looking at how convincingly he's won this by-election, more convincingly than perhaps Labor thought they would win it, what will Keir Starmer do next? He's at the G7 at the moment, the summit, with international leaders, but we are expecting to hear from him at some point in the next day. What will he say in response to this? He's already basically said Andy Burnham will get a cabinet position in his government, but for Andy Burnham, I don't think that's quite enough. So will we see a challenge? Will Keir Starmer contest that? If he doesn't, we could see a very orderly transition to a new government in the United Kingdom. But also, will another Labor MP put their hand up? Wes Streeting, the former Health Secretary, his name was in the mix. He's clearly got ambition of his own. Will he put his hat in the ring? And if this becomes a complicated, multi-candidate race, that will then drag on for quite some time. The way these leadership contests work, they take a significant amount of time. And I think Labor in the UK has been spending a lot of time talking about itself. There are a lot of people in the Labor Party that are hoping that this can get resolved quickly. It's kind of in Keir Starmer's hands what happens from here.